Hi, John Maxwell, but let me just clean the lens of my phone. Sorry about this. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, okay. Right, now this is the law of addition, and let's continue. Adding profits by adding value. And the next subchapter reads. Retail experts give a lot of attention to Senegal's formula for success. Offer a limited number of items, rely on high volume sales, keep costs as low as possible, and don't spend money on advertising. Okay? But there is something that separates him from the competitors who employ similar strategies: the way he treats his employees. He believes in paying his employees well and offering them good benefit packages. Costco employees are paid an average of 42% more than the company's chief rival. At Costco, employees pay a fraction of the national average for healthcare. Senegal believes that if you pay people well, you get good people and good productivity. You also get employee loyalty. Costco has by far the lowest employee turnover rate in all of retail. But Senegal's leadership style of adding value doesn't end with employee compensation. He goes out of his way to show Costco workers that he cares about them. He maintains an open door policy with everyone. He wears an employee name tag, is on a first name basis with everyone, and makes sure to visit every single Costco store at least once a year. Okay. Mhm. Quote, no manager and no staff in any business feels very good if the boss is not interested enough to come and see them, unquote, says Senegal. And when he shows up, his people are always glad to see him. Again, quote, the employees know that I want to say hello to them because I like them, unquote. Senegal once flew from Texas to the San Francisco area when he heard that a Costco executive was hospitalized for emergency surgery. It came as no surprise to the executive. It was consistent with the way Senegal always leads. That one guy. Hello, hi, that one guy. And hello, Miguel. Thank you for the hearts. Guys, I encourage you to send likes my way. Oh, yes, one person already did that. Thank you. I'm reading the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. And yes, that one guy, I already responded to your hi. So when you write comments, you shouldn't expect me to jump at you. I'm reading, and also remember that sometimes there can be some time lapse between you sending the message and it appearing on my screen, and so on. Okay. Know that one guy. I do not give, moderation to people I do not know. If you follow my channel, if I see you regularly on my channel, then you can become a moderator. If you'd like that, then you should subscribe and you should show up regularly and support me with your likes, with your comments. So nice to see you here and welcome. Thank you. Right. Next subheading, Leadership Lessons Learned Early. Saul Price, Senegal's one-time mentor, says, Jim has done a very good job in balancing the interests of the stakeholders, the employees, the customers, and the managers. Most companies tilt too much one way or another. Many of the lessons Senegal learned came from Price, who believed in treating people well and giving them credit. In a meeting at FedMart, Senegal noted that a manager was quick to take the credit and to place blame on others. But Price saw through him. To teach us a lesson, recalls Senegal, Saul used the weekly meeting to purposely raise hell about something that was wrong in one of the stores. I wondered why he did it, but But when he saw that this manager let two of his employees take the blame, he fired him within a week. Oh, wow. Right. Miguel Palacios. Okay. Oh, yes. I love those emojis, Miguel. Thank you. I like that kind of stuff. Gracias. Quote, it's improper for one person to take credit when it takes so many people to build a successful organization, asserts Senegal. Again, quote, when you try to be top dog, you don't create loyalty. If you can't give credit and take blame, you will drown in your inability to inspire. End of quote. The only real criticism of Senegal comes from Wall Street. Analysts there believe that Senegal is too kind and generous to his people. They would like to see him pay employees less and squeeze them more. But Senegal wouldn't think of it. He believes that if you treat the employees and customers right, profits will follow. On Wall Street, he observes, they're in the business of making money between now and next Thursday. I don't say that with any bitterness, but we can't take that view. We want to build a company that will still be here 50 and 60 years from now. Others outside the organization appreciate his approach to business. Neil Minow, an expert on corporate governance, remarked, I would love to clone him. Of the 2,000 companies in our database, he has the single shortest CEO employment contract. Okay. And there's a separate quote on the page, which reads, it's improper for one person to take credit when it takes so many people to build a successful organization. Jim Senegal. All right. It's less than a page long. And it's the only one which specifically says he can be, believe it or not, terminated for cause. Okay, that's about the contract of the CEO. Okay. When it comes down to it, Senegal is more focused on adding value to people by serving them than on serving himself or making himself richer with an exorbitant salary. He believes by the law of addition. He lives by the law of addition. Quote, I just think that if you're going to try to run an organization that's very cost conscious, then you can't have those disparities. Having an individual who is making 100 or 200 or 300 times more than the average person working on the floor is wrong. Senegal sums it up this way. This is not altruistic. This is good business. He could also say it's good leadership. That sounds decent, reasonable, logical. Yeah, unlike Wall Street and dog eat dog type of stuff, I like it. Yeah. Again, I remind you that you can send likes my way if you enjoy me reading this book for you. Okay, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, okay, by John Maxwell. Do motives matter? Why should leaders lead? And when they do, what is their first responsibility? If you were to ask a lot of leaders, you might hear a variety of responses. You might hear that a leader's job is to be in charge, make the organization run smoothly, make money for shareholders, build a great company, make us better than the competition, and win. Does a leader's motive matter, or is it simply getting the job done that's important? What's the bottom line? I didn't give it much thought until the last 10 years. I vividly remember teaching leadership to a group of government officials in a developing nation a few years ago, and teaching that leaders add value by serving others. I could see that many of the audience members looked very uncomfortable as I talked about it. When I finished speaking and mentioned what I observed to one of my hosts, he said, Yes, I'm sure they did look uncomfortable. What you have to realize is that probably more than half of those people killed someone to obtain their current position of power. I've seen and heard a lot of things around the world, but I must admit I was shocked. In that moment, I realized that I could not take for granted why leaders lead and how they go about doing it. Alright, do the math. Many people view leadership the same way they view success, hoping to go as far as they can, to climb the ladder, to achieve the highest position possible for their talent. But contrary to conventional thinking, I believe the bottom line in leadership isn't how far we advance ourselves, but how far we advance others. That is achieved by serving others and adding value to their lives. Well, okay, this sounds altruistic. Yeah, I'd say it should be a win-win. It should be both, not just serving others. The interaction between every leader and follower is a relationship, and all relationships either add to or subtract from a person's life. If you are a leader, then trust me, you are having either a positive or a negative impact on the people you lead. How can you tell? There is one critical question. Are you making things better for the people who follow you? That's it. If you cannot answer with an unhesitant yes and give some evidence that backs it up, then you may very well be a subtractor. Often, subtractors don't realize they are subtracting from others. I would say that 90% of all people who subtract from others do so unintentionally. They don't recognize their negative impact on others. And when a leader is a subtractor and doesn't change his ways, it's only a matter of time before his impact on others goes from subtraction to division. In contrast, 90% of all people who add value to others do so intentionally. Why do I say that? Because human beings are naturally selfish. I'm selfish. Being an adder requires me to get out of my comfort zone every day and think about adding value to others. Okay? And there's a quote on the page. The bottom line in leadership isn't how far we advance ourselves, but how far we advance others. Okay. But that's what it takes to be a leader whom others want to follow. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. But again, it should be win-win instead of you. I don't like that mindset of, oh, I'm a serviceman. I'm here to only serve. That sounds fake, to be honest. But caring also and creating win-win situations, yeah, for sure, that's a good thing. Yeah. Okay. Do that long enough, serving others, yes, and you not only add value to others, you begin to multiply it. The people who make the greatest difference seem to understand this. If you think about some of the people who have won Nobel Peace Prize, for example, Albert Schweitzer, Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, and Bishop Desmond Tutu, you see leaders who were less interested in their position and more interested in their positive impact on others. If you read their writings, or more important, study their lives, you notice that they wanted to make things better for others, to add value to people's lives. They didn't set out to receive the Nobel Prize. They desired to engage in noble service to their fellow human beings. A servant's mindset pervades their thinking. The 1952 prize winner, Albert Schweitzer, advised, seek always to do some good somewhere. Every man has to seek in his own way to realize his true worth. You must give some time to your fellow man, for remember, you don't live in a world all your own. Your brothers are here too. Mhm. End of the quote. Adding value to others through service doesn't just benefit the people being served, it allows the leaders to experience the following: fulfillment in leading others, leadership with the right motives, the ability to perform significant acts as leaders, the development of a leadership team, an attitude of service on a team. Okay, this makes sense, especially the ability to perform significant acts as leaders. This makes me think of Sadhguru, for example, if you've heard of him. He's a yogi, guru, philanthropist, activist, he does so many things. And he has Isha Foundation. Yeah, huge. It's huge. And he's very successful in what he's doing. He has been trying to rejuvenate the dying lakes, dying rivers in India. He has a huge program on forestation, like he's fighting deforestation and planting hundreds of thousands and millions of trees across India and probably some other places too. So yes, Sadhguru is able to do that because, yeah, as a leader, he gives a lot, and he says it, in his some of his speeches. He says that the secret is how do you make people fall in love with you? First, you fall in love with them. That's the secret of Sadhguru, actually. That's how the thing works. Yeah, yeah. It makes me feel a little uncomfortable, to be honest. That's my comfort zone, I think. But as a system, as a way of acting and living in the world, it works. And yeah, people like Sadhguru are a testament to that. Okay, the best place for a leader isn't always the top position. It isn't the most prominent or powerful place. It's the place where he or she can serve the best and add the most value to other people. Albert Einstein, who was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921, asserted, "Only a life lived in the service of others is worth living." Mhm. Great leadership means great service. How do leaders serve their people? Jim Sinegal pays good wages and treats employees with respect. Martin Luther King Jr. marched for civil rights. Mother Teresa cared for the sick and established places where others could do the same. The specifics depend on the vision, the type of work, and the organization, but the intention is always the same: to add value. When you add value to people, you lift them up, help them advance, make them a part of something bigger than themselves, and assist them in becoming who they were made to be. Often their leader is the only person able to help them do those things. Adding value, changing lives. I have developed 4 guidelines to help me add value to others. 3 of them are fundamental and can be used by anyone desiring to practice the law of addition. The 4th is based on my faith. If that might offend you or you don't have interest in that area, then simply skip it. Okay? 1. We add value to others when we truly value others. Yeah, the Sadhguru's formula. Yeah. Daryl Hartley Leonard, who retired as chairman of the board of Hyatt Hotels Corporation and is currently chairman and chief executive officer of Production Group International, says, when a person moves into a position of authority, he or she gives up the right to abuse people. I believe that is true, but that is only the beginning of good leadership. Effective leaders go beyond not harming others, and they intentionally help others. To do that, they must value people and demonstrate that they care in such a way that their followers know it. Yeah, This makes sense. I have two assistants actually now. They help me out. I have eyesight issues and I cannot write and read a lot. So almost every day, I call those people, those young women, and I dictate them whatever I want to be written, and they do that for me. Yeah, and sometimes they could say, one of them says, for instance, my eyes hurt. I worked too much, and I say, okay, take care of yourself, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Or I constantly remind them when we're on the call, like, guys, if you want to, well, it's not that I'm working with both directly. I have two people. It's actually also, good for each of them and also for me. When one is absent, I could reach out to the other one. And I remind, the assistant, like, hey, if you want to grab a cup of coffee or tea, do so. Or if the person is coughing, I might give them some word of advice, like, you can use extra virgin olive oil, put it in your mouth a little bit, and it will lubricate the throat and will help you out with your cough and stuff. So I show them that I care, but it's not even about showing, honestly. It's that I logically understand that if I want to work with those people for a long time, I they need to be well, they need to be healthy, they need to be feel that they are valued and they are in, mm, they have their part in this process. Yeah, for instance, me writing the book, or I used to work for a nonprofit for which I wrote grant projects. Yeah. So I try to show them that, guys, you can benefit from this and that, and your presence is important for me, etc. That's it. So yeah, I was reading this and it made me remember of my own tactics and strategy. That's it. Adieu. All right. Now let's see where we are. Oh, yes, truly valuing others. So there's a separate quote on this page which says, when a person moves into a position of authority, he or she gives up the right to abuse people. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, let me read one more paragraph and that will be it for today. Then Rayland, who was my right-hand man for many years, is an excellent leader and values people highly. But when he first came to work for me, he didn't show it. One day when he was new on the job, I was chatting with some people in the lobby, and then came in, briefcase in hand, then walked right past all of us without saying a word and went straight down the hall toward his office. I was astonished. How could a leader walk right by a group of people he worked with and not even say hello to them? I quickly excused myself from the conversation I was having and followed then to his office. Oh, this is interesting. Very interesting. Then I asked after greeting him, how could you walk right past everybody like that? I've got a lot of work to do today, then answered, and really want to get started. Then I said, you just walked past your work. Never forget that leadership is about people. Then cared about people and wanted to serve them as a leader. He just didn't show it. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for being with me. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you want not to miss my upcoming reading sessions. I'm reading the 10 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. So the playlist is there on my channel. If you'd like to access the previous reading sessions, you can do that. And I also read another book, The Art of Not Giving a F. You can also benefit from that. The whole book has been read by me. Remember to like, comment, send super likes, share my content. Thank you. High five to you all and see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye.